Olsaylıkken, Hokapartıkken, Yılgozat'ın Marmi, Adrenabinler, Yavaşlıkken antamler, Duyuyanız Kurhan Şafukberu, Varçakan antamler, Namaraman Yerdasat, Hay Samsi, Yerdasat'ta Sanstafukbi, Belgorunler, Yevin Olsaylıkken antam, Yevhama gelir. Duyuyanız Uşakutayın Sanstafukbi, Hay Yerdasat'ta Samsi, Yerdasat'ta Sanstafukbi anılov, Duparmen Terpolur. Aysor Hos, Beklevaze, Verisinin Antnelu, Yevsikalu, Ne Bekukes Milyon Naharat Nelu Hişagagin Arşev. Vohberkucum Uvolisisat ve Hazarina Yodasnigi Sancho Sabilin, Yevdevet, Araçın, Ramahutkarayın, Madarazmin, Intaskin, Yevminçev, Hazarina Yuksan Yerek, Türk Belüken Hibnum. Alemurken Ayastan'ı Pınakçuçunu Deva Hanımetsam, İrhaylini Ocak veren, Pınakçuçunu yer takdir etsam, İttihat Yev Terakki Usak Türkçen Garabarişlerin Hrango, Yev Türk, Kürt, Şerkez, Çeçen, Çoğumurtin Al Kozatrumo. Aşkısov, Kadar Veçal Kısanelor Tadu, Araçin Çalas Manutunu. Onun son kaçının Medyes Milyon Hayır, Hinkarvazaki Şafal Asabile. Aysor Çalas Manutyan İnisimiyor Terör Tanıtasiyati, Ben Olsa Hayır Sıkukan, Veran Orkelu, Vermuhtu, Merzohvat Nahdineru Yerazanlıkları İranlar Sırrı Çankov, Nuymes Aysnerga Daknabali Olerun, Amerikan Yepek Amramın Telu Hayreniki Yevarda Sahmani Hayros Hamas Kayın Miyaslıcını, Yev Yekbaylagan Ansagar Korkatsucunu Miyaslapar, Ammen Medes Stanselo, İren Paşin Yegas Badasını Duracağım. Aysor tutaklarınızın bir tutakları var anın filmi. Asıl masik bir koşu, Hedo, Olur, Karin Saldırı. Minçay, Mer Ziraat'ın çizgisaz, Mer Nahanakları, Yağmur Çokbuyla Oteli ama, Hokam Sistem Başkanı Nevsuki Mamalar Tuna bir demeyin İren Sokileri Bayzarası'nda oldu. Yer, Sezik Ömerabı, Mer Badyan Hodundayız, İren Hokilerin Hasır Hanlar. Rahmetli. Şuna gel. Şuna tüm medyada saktır. O sarıkken ve araçın adam olalım. Eğer İnişin amyadi, İnişin amyadi istesen, Vastatsi Sancho Sabini, Uşaksani Arçev, Daniel Sankrelo, Garinero Dotudari Ever Atem Maslavi Tank, Yer Aysitari Araçın adam, Mid Kıhlıgasa ve Üngerlerin Yevya Köşek, Çoğumar Mamavarın Mobilicinin Mediyer'de saklıyor dediysen. Yesan, İraves aski araç koran zeyim çıkırtay rekarısından, İreli yahardan, Radan Dünhaynelo, Sembor Aysor, Araçın anlam olsa mükemmel, ben az teki çektiğim var, az zamanaki taslim, bir de havanası o, bir de pasmana aslında bilgilerine. Yer şartlarına mündez, yerde sarkat sarkat bir yer, ya aslında yerde sarkat Samsin, o yan armağanı var, yan Armenian Networking, adına bir Semak, Şirman yani, Yevnülbez, YGI այսինքն երիտասարդական հանրապետի ադենավետ բարոն Արի Կովեսերյան։ Հիմա կհրավիրեմ բարոն Պաստապան Իրավապան Սևակ Շիրվանյանը, որ իր սրտից խոսք
Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Tomorrow is an important day, not only for us Armenians, but also for humanity. It is a day to commemorate the fallen, but more importantly, it's a day for us Armenians to take a step forward. We must get involved and organize at the grassroots level in order to stop future genocides when political expediency stops governments from acting. Us as Armenians, and as the people in 1915 who suffered unspeakable violence and atrocities in the hands of Turks, all in the name of Turks trying to eradicate the entire race, have a special duty towards our fellow men, to educate them and to prompt them to action, to stop genocide, and also to help the victims of genocide when the will of the victims are tested. As an Armenian, I believe that the genocide has shaped our existence in many ways, but it is our innate resilience, industriousness, intelligence, and our culture that has carried us throughout the years, where we have an independent Armenia full of growth and promise, a diaspora that is active, involved, and strong, with many schools, churches, and nonprofit organizations. As we commemorate the genocide, we should also not let it define our entire identity. We are much more than victims of unspeakable atrocities. We are a nation that became the first Christians. We are the sons and daughters of acclaimed kings, pioneering scientists, authors, musicians, artists, and poets of world fame. As we commemorate the genocide, we should not forget who we are and how much we can accomplish together. Thank you. I now would like to invite Ali Mubasayan, who is the president of our YGIA.
Այսօր մեծ հարաշիվություն կատարված է ազգային ճակատի վրա։ Մեր հողային խաթը հետապնդելու եւ զայն գլուխ հանելու իմաստով։ Նկատի ունենալով, որ 1.5 միլիոն սպանված հայերի թիվը համահավասար է Սան Դիեգոյի բնակչության։ Կրնակ երևակայել այս ոչինչ որքան ահավոր ըլլավ։ Մեծ եղերնի հուշադոնը ամբողջ աշխարհի մեջ հայ ժողովրդի միացնող կյանքի ամենակարևոր եւ շոշափելի արտահայտությունն է։ Մենք այսօր հազարավոր մողորներ հերու մեր հայրենիքն հավաքված ենք այս պահի մեջ, այս սրահի մեջ 1915-ի զոհերուն հիշատակին մամաբարության մեր հարկանքի դուրքը մատուցել։ Այս արիքով դուզեմ դիսասինալ բարույր սևակի նշանավոր դողեր։ Մենք մեր ոչ մեկի չենք հրաշացում, բայց մեզ ալքին ենք, մեզ հայ են ասում, և իչու պիտի չվարդանանք, կանք պիտի լինենք ու թեր շատանանք։ Անշուշտ ամենակարևորն է վերջին լողը որգսել, կանք պիտի լինենք ու թեր շատանանք։ Միությամբ և զորությամբ պիտի շատանանք։ Շնորհակալություն։ Հիմա կուզեմ հրավիրել YGI-ի անդամ Ալիկ Արգենյանը։
Hello everyone, may I first say it is a privilege to have the opportunity to speak before you all tonight, and what a pleasure it is for me to participate in such community events. Tomorrow we will be 97 years removed from the start of the genocide, and yet today we still find ourselves well in the grips of the calamity that took so many of our ancestors. We have been in mourning for 97 years. While the memory of those who perished in the desert is forever undying, I believe that the time has come to wipe the tears from our eyes and gain closure with this event. We must not look at ourselves as victims, but we must look at ourselves as survivors. I am a third-generation survivor. Speaking as a first-generation American, I find it too often that when I tell someone I am Armenian, one will immediately bring up the genocide as a reference to my heritage. It is discouraging to see that the word Armenian has nearly become synonymous with the word genocide. I believe that our trifles over recognition, land, the use of the word genocide are all but a distraction from the true issues. I am proud to say that as a people, we have overcome. We have overcome the genocide and have found sanctuary in a small region flanked by our Mount Ararat that we call Armenia and Karabakh. These two nations are currently strangled by blockades while we argue with bandits over what happened to those 1.5 million souls years ago. I was always told as a child what a prosperous people the Armenians were prior to the genocide, and I always asked myself, why not again? Why must our people live in the shadow of what had happened, rather than paving the way for Armenians of the future, my generation? The poverty rate in Armenia is now increasing at 36%, and it is even worse in Karabakh. The nation suffers from economic isolation, widespread corruption, and an increasing emigration rate. The youth are leaving as opportunity is shrinking. We, as diaspora Armenians, have limitless resources to combat this issue. With technology the way it is, we can provide for the education and opportunity for these youth. Duty not only calls in Armenia and Karabakh, but also in conflicts abroad. Today, genocide still exists, most notably in the Darfur region. But global powers have made the same mistake that they made a century ago and have left the calls by innocent Sudanese children and women unanswered as the Janjaweed militia kills hundreds and thousands at a time. For the dignity of our ancestors' souls that were taken in vain, we as Armenians must take an interest in global violence taking place today. Not because we feel we should, but we understand and empathize with their struggle. Take a stand against genocide today. That is how we can best pay homage to those who died, not only in the Armenian genocide, but in all unjust calamities that have taken place before our eyes. The problems are too great at home to waste our time arguing. I advocate for continued remembrance of those lost, but also for reconciliation. As I am 3 generations removed from the genocide, so are my Turkish counterparts. And I am prepared to end all hostilities with my neighbor for the sake of my fatherland. We must work to restore our people to world-leading status, and I refuse to let my fate of my culture be determined by the genocide. Then they have won. I urge you all to commit toward working to the storied culture that we once were. Rebuild the churches, protect the dying Armenian schools in Istanbul, combat evils within that imperil our Armenia, and empower the Armenian youth. Do great things that not only benefit our people, but society as a whole. This is what we must see my generation do. I will never forget what happened 97 years ago, and events like this will ensure that none of us do. However, I am no longer willing to live in the shadow of the genocide, but I will strive to ensure the future prosperity of my people, my country, and humanity. Thank you.
Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Karen Salgan, and I welcome you to OIA Cultural Committee's 3rd movie showing. Tonight, we will be presenting the movie Lark Farm for the commemoration of the Armenian genocide. The Lark Farm is a film adaptation of the novel La Maceria del Amadole, translated into English as Skylark Farm, by Italian-Armenian author Antonia Arslan, co-directed by legendary Italian filmmakers Paolo and Vittorio Taviani. The Lark Farm, starring Paz Vega and Arsene Kandjian, stands as one of the few international movies to tackle the Armenian genocide head-on. The story concerns the Avakian clan, the wealthy Ottoman Armenian family, who divide their time between their city home and the country retreat that gives the film its name. As World War I breaks out, the Avakians, led by Aram, a successful merchant, have friendly relations with the local Turkish authorities and are not concerned that any change will come to their world. Indeed, the Avakians ignored the warning signs and set about preparing for a family reunion with the impending visit of Aram's brother, a physician living in Venice. However, the Avakians' way of life is to come to an end with the existence of the Armenians in the Ottoman Empire, as the family is subjected to murder and deportation into the Syrian desert. Against incredible odds, and due to a combination of luck, cunning, and unexpected acts of kindness, some members of the family are able to survive. Now, I would like to remind you to turn off all your cell phones, and please join us for the Candlelight Vigil after the presentation. Thank you.
Io ho ucciso una ragazza armena. Si chiamava Nunik Avakian. Era la donna che amavo.
Ilisuyo dari ransan dadawin ben probleme şuloz besa. Tesakur asfilme meç Türkiye lavlo mere evkeş bolmaya vardır. İradanı meç Aşkarımına keşalmakta, davalmakta. Ayet, yedememiz kısım, mark individual, ayetinin ansızları, gıkhori, ayet, amay kılalı, gıhabada. Adresat markigat, yine special law market kayın, ayet, barda volvesan, mersinelu, aha desat. Her dafte, mek, Voroş şakumu, yine sanki konuşacağız ve Tışlamurcun çizen, İradanlıktan meç, çıkırsa, çiş hareketler, vor Türkiye'den iç spesifik var mı, iç spesifik yılda, ek pozisyonel zamanlar giden, yine bulunduğunu. Lav korunanlar bunu, haciyer por havadan, yeter skal, mezikirden boşunçasını izlenç uzak şamanadır. Anuna başlar üstüysen ki ben az aperura, az azat aperura, hacetsek alımız bak, boyutları çantam bak ki da alımız ben tadı başpanını kurar ve değil bekliyorlar. Ben belki başpanını berdadır. Ben tanımıyım. Ben bahançlıyım. Hat bahançlıyla hemen bekliyorlar. Haç boş demenen bir ay Mian çarptı kişelo, ayo ben çarptı desem başlığına zamana ben borçalıyım. Nor hayrelik mori, yuvar hayrelikin belki o ne? Yer parka vacı. Zamana gidin yer por kosesan hepiniz Ermenisiniz, hepiniz Pitsiniz zaten. Gil birbirim mi? Espadaslandı mı? Tun insinkit nayı. Desfor için asyaya ne kadar? Tun iç nasyon. Türkiye gınımanistör. Ay mesele gınımanistör iradanlıklarında. Yevayo, pice, minçu pice. Orada Türkiye'nin pice, armadaki de gaz, armanın, bozar, kadrolar, zalim problem, pıstık basak, pıstık piç mu? Ayine piç kısın, mekanın kısın, zil. Nor zil mu? Arzin de vor, men, aha, o sen. Bizim fazmana, yarım videodan norin zar. Jumma, hedor zar videodan. Ama rabar, ima iren sokmuy namar as film etkilenen ediyor, iren sokmuy namar avatek bile. Bili karaboyan, arjanavar, avar kahanaşının denizcanı, bor üstesi, ben arada olacak. 프랙셔널하다는 생각했어요. 그러면 아시가 아라친 내일 아라친 뭐가바라친네 그 상볼 아스케레 암넨 그산이 예레카벨리 이리샤라벨리 예우바만 그산이 초르카벨리 몬테벨로이 내 우상한테신 내가들이 샤코 빌리면 그러는 게 딱. 라메섹소